So I remember one of the first things we did when we brought you into the company was just looking at healthcare plans. And that was one of the things that I hadn't even anticipated or associated with HR that was such a benefit to us to have somebody who's seen all the complications of healthcare plans and how to think through the trade-offs. That was a real benefit to us. What are some of the benefits solar installers gain from bringing in HR support like that they may have never expected?
Yeah, I think it's a couple different things. I think one, I mean, obviously there's the compliance pieces, right? Making sure you're doing what you need to do so that you don't end up with the EEOC, DOL, anybody else knocking on your door, right? Outside of that, I think it's things, yes, it's things like benefits that may seem fairly straightforward, but are actually really complicated, right? When you start talking about small businesses, right, you're subject to these small employer plans. You may have hundreds of choices that you're choosing from. How do you pick the plan that makes the most sense for your company, right? And as we start having some of those conversations, right, we start coming into like compensation philosophy, right? Because benefits are a part of a compensation package. And so as you start looking at how am I doing things like 401k, am I doing a match? Am I doing, how much am I paying towards benefits? How much do I have to pay towards benefits? Right? Do I offer medical insurance? Do I offer dental? Do I offer short term disability, long term disability? Right? And it just keeps going and going. Right? All of this comes up with it all comes down to this is my philosophy on how I want to reward and retain people. And there's, again, companies we work with all over the board from we want to be on the low end of the pay band, but we're offering these amazing benefits. How do we make sure we're marketing that right to candidates and telling that story to candidates because that's an important story to tell, all the way down to we want to be leaders in the market, right? Obviously it's easier to be a leader in the market from a comp standpoint as far as attracting talent. Other areas that I would say I think small businesses miss is obviously the recruiting pieces, right? And we've been talking a lot about that and making sure we're set up for as much success as we can, trying to make sure we're bringing in that right talent for the organization. um, Management coaching, leadership, right? Being that kind of partner, just, again, from our experience working with so many different businesses, we have experience. We've seen what works a lot of times, we've seen what doesn't work. It's not a one size fits all approach, right? And customizing something that into each individual environment. But definitely a lot of that management, leadership, executive coaching that comes into play as well.